Hey everybody, it's Chris and Tony back with another review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet.
And we're all baseballed out. Look at
One
us.
day after tax day. Hope everybody got their taxes taken care
Oh,
of.
crap, I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, Trump doesn't have to pay him. Why do I?
Exactly. So, but
Don't go
today
there,
we are
buddy.
going to be,
No middle fingers this week.
no. Today we are going to be reviewing a local beer though.
Yeah, excited about that.
Tony and I had the good fortune to be sitting at Tenaya Creek when the press release came out for this particular beer,
Mhm.
as well as one of the representatives from the brewery themselves, not a distributor, but an actual personnel from the brewery showed up at Tenaya and brought cans, and we saw the press release and all that. And so, without further ado, Tony's going to show you the can, show you what it actually is.
Have you all ever heard of Lovelady?
Lovelady Brewing out of Henderson, Nevada.
Yep, this is Lovelady's, they call it Brother Chili. I am so horrible with
For
this.
those of you who do not know, Henderson is actually a suburb of Las Vegas. It's here in Clark County, part of the valley.
Yep.
So it's a neighboring town, and so it's you
Back
could
of
basically call them a Sin City brewer like everybody
Yeah,
else.
yeah, it's a suburb. And we could actually jump in the car and be there in probably less than 25 minutes.
Yeah,
I've actually been to the brewery, said brewery,
I have not.
Lovelady. Last month was my 43rd birthday, and one thing I wanted to do that day was go to a nearby brewery that I had yet to visit, and Lovelady was one of them. And like Chris said, we just happened just before that to meet. I'm pretty sure he's a brewer, actually. I didn't catch his name, but he's got a very identifiable mustache. He's just like all mustache, like right here. Super cool guy. And we just happened. So we've actually had this beer before and loved it so much. I especially did. I mean, I love the
Yeah.
heat, and we'll
Yeah,
talk about.
Tony's definitely the Heat fan. I mean, I like Heat. Tony loves Heat.
We'll get we'll get to that after we pour it and taste it. But
One of these days we're going to go to there's a place in Wisconsin. I want to check out the Mustard Museum, and they have a wing there in I want to say it's Madison, where you actually have to sign a waiver prior to eating it because the sauce that they've made
that's
is
so
so
cool.
hot. So
I love
I
it.
always figure we should go to Wisconsin, try Wisconsin beers, try Wisconsin mustard at the Mustard Museum, and then I'll take you over to that place, and you can sign the waiver and have
Oh, absolutely.
uh, hot wings that are
But
so hot you gotta have legal
is this in
ramifications to
Milwaukee?
it.
Do you know?
Like I said, I think it's Madison.
Oh, Madison. Okay.
So yeah.
Well, what I want to do to take another check off the bucket list is we can do all that, but you and I have to make it over to Milwaukee. Lock arms and go 1, 2,
Two,
3,
three, four,
4, 5,
Chenille,
6, 7,
Samazel,
8, Chenille.
House and Bever Incorporated.
Whatever the hell they just said, we're gonna do it, and we are gonna do it. We're gonna do this beer.
Yes.
Okay, so
This is the Brother
Lovelady,
Chili.
they're relatively new. In fact, they just, I think about a week or two ago, just had their 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, they're very
So
new.
they're newborns, and since we're local and we live in this area, I hear a lot of really good feedback. I don't really hear too many people kind of down about Lovelady. Everybody seems to really like their beers. When I went there, I had a flight of 6 of the beers they make there on property, and 4 of them I raved about. The other 2 were just happened to be styles, the style itself that I'm not crazy about. So I wasn't really expecting to like suddenly change my mind about 2 styles of beer. But the other 4 beers, IPA, double IPA, this particular beer here, I was pretty thrilled about. So let's open it.
And I would like to say part of my predictions for 2017 was you were going to see more minorities in brewing. I don't know the ins and outs of Lovelady. I do know that the Lovelady Brewing is owned and operated by the Lovelady family.
Yes,
And
that is their last name.
one of their beers was Ninth Island. I think there may be some Hawaiian folks among that. And Brother Chili is actually an homage to, I believe it was the god of the chili. I read on it was an Aztec god of the chili.
Sorry to block you for a second there.
Yeah, the chili is considered sacred among the Aztecs or something like
Yeah,
that.
that headdress is comprised of different colors of chili there. So.
And so
And here's the Lovelady logo.
I do believe that Lovelady Brewing is.
Pretty cool.
I'm not exactly certain what the ethnic makeup is there, but I believe you could call them minorities. And I said you're going to see more women, you're going to see more minorities in brewing. And of course, I cannot bring to mind naturally who just recently had put a woman, made a woman their CEO of some brewery.
Oh, you shared
But
that on your.
it was a big brewery like. like maybe New Belgium or something, or
Yeah,
somebody
he
like it
just
was.
shared that
It was
article
not
on
a
your.
small brewery by any stretch of the
Check
imagination.
out his Blue Collar Beer Gourmet page
On Facebook,
and
and
you'll find that article he just shared.
so I think this is very much in keeping with uh, you know more minorities working their way into it. Uh, Obviously, with this is a non-political site. We're not trying to make any sort of political statement, but I am going to say, frankly, I would like to see more ethnic people in the brewing industry. It's a lot of guys who look like me, fat, bald guys with
That's
goatees,
true.
are making beer.
It's
Fat,
true.
bald, white guys are
It
making
really
beers,
is true.
and I think we need a little diversification, is all I'm saying. Some Mexican heat, some Thai heat would be great in American beers. I'd love
Absolutely.
to see Thai immigrants brewing beer here. I would
Well,
love to see the first. Yes, we are Thai. We came from Thailand, but we're Americans now, and we're brewing
well, it
beer,
makes sense
and
because
we're all over it.
if
So,
you look at our society, we don't hesitate to go. Let's try that new Chinese place. Let's try that new Thai place. Let's
mhm,
try that new Ethiopian restaurant. I mean, we don't hesitate to go, seek out, new cafes, new restaurants that are just that.
mhm,
So why not food and beverage, man? I mean, this is part of what food. I mean, so if we don't have a problem trying out their restaurants, why not
indeed,
get them in the brewery
and
and
even
put their
countries that are
twist on
largely
the
Muslim,
recipes?
you Egyptian Coptic Christians, I'd love to see some Coptic Christians emigrate to the U.S. and open up a brewery, have Coptic brewing here in the U.S., where you're bringing old world Egyptian, roots and flavors and recipes into.
Yeah.
Let's see an American beer made by Egyptian immigrants. That would be an American IPA as brewed by Coptic Christians. Uh, and I am giving a shout
Agreed.
out to them because last Sunday was Palm Sunday, and there was actually a bombing at a Coptic Christian church. So the point being, let's see more and more and more non-white folks here in America making beers, please. I think it really is time, but I think it's been a very white sort of field, and I
And
think we need the
male,
diversification. And
male,
male, yeah, we need the
absolutely,
diversification. We
totally, no
really
doubt
do.
about it.
And that's the other thing too is invariably everything that's made for women ends up being like fruit beers because as men we think that
Yeah,
all women want is fruit beers.
yeah, a
I'd love
shandy,
it,
like
it would be great to
shandy's
see.
only.
Hi, I'm a woman and a brewer, and here's what I think women would like to drink. We haven't really been exposed to
Yeah,
that.
here's a
We've
wee
been
heavy that'll
exposed
knock you on
to
your ass.
what
Yeah,
what we think women want to drink. So
that's a good point.
so, Brother
Dude,
Chili,
beautiful space.
Love Lady, if you are in fact, from somewhere else, if you're Hawaiians, like many of much of the ethnic makeup of Las Vegas is Hawaiian. If you're Hawaiian, if you're Latino, if whatever you are, I'm glad to see a little bit of color in craft beer, and that's as political as I'm going to get. So,
Well said, sir.
shall we?
I said good day.
I said good day.
Absolutely.
Now, as you can see, Tony poured
I did
this.
pour
This is not
this.
an overly foamy. Even
No,
as we swirl, we're not really creating a head
and you
here,
know what? This
and there's not much in the way of lacing either. So
I think it's just the particular style of beer. This
it is a
wasn't.
brown ale.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we were ever meant to like get much of
I think you did say it
a head on this
was a 5%. Did you
beer.
tell
It's
everybody
five
it's 5%
percent.
ABV already?
I
Yeah.
haven't covered that yet.
Okay.
But we have had this beer before. Well, once at Tenaya Creek, our hangout, and then I also had it at the Lovelady Brewery itself. So very nice brewery. If you are in Vegas or in Henderson, um, check them out online for directions. And I'm really not familiar with Henderson much because I live in Vegas. That's our suburb, and I don't get
Can
out
you
there
go
very
look for
often.
that logo?
Yep, there's the
It's
logo.
a little cupid there
Show
with
that
the
logo on
holding that
Yep,
Weisenglass on its
pretty
foot.
cool logo. I like
Yeah.
it. So, but anyway, I did make it over there, and they've got a really cool setup. They got a shuffleboard game, and they've got a patio, and they've got a good vibe. It's really neat place. So once you walk in, you're gonna have a good time.
And here's somebody else who is using is canning their beer, and even though they
Yep,
don't have a perfect seamer yet, that seam did just fine. Tony bought this at a store, brought it home. We've opened it up. The seam didn't pop. So
yep. Well,
those of you who are
yeah,
saying, "Oh, I'm worried about a seamer," I
I
don't know.
enjoyed it enough. I mean, Chris will tell you that for me to actually go to a store, Total Wine in this case, and grab a 6 pack of a local beer in a can that means I really liked it.
Yeah.
Because they don't offer this beer in bottles, and I much prefer drinking beer from a beer bottle than I do a can. That being said, this is one of those exceptions. I really dug this beer, so I'm basically kind of telling you what I'm, even before sipping from this glass. This beer is exceptional if you like heat, if you like chili, but you don't want to get your mouth burnt with too much, and it's just the right level. Awesome beer. I'm actually going to start sipping it because I can't wait.
Right on. I do want to give here.
So cheers.
Let's cheers.
And then the heat builds too. So the first, right when you get it in your mouth, you're like, well, where's the heat? Where's the heat? Wait about 3 or 4 seconds. Here it comes.
The thing is, you can smell the pepper. You don't smell the heat, you smell the pepper.
Right.
And just real quick to address the issue
recipe.
of those of you who are wondering where Brother Chili comes from, and I did make reference to it, but let's go ahead and Lovelady did the homework, so let's just tell you.
Yeah.
Ancient Inca considered chili peppers to be holy plants sacred to Agar Uchu, also known as Brother Chili, who was one of the 4 brothers of the Incan creation myth, and brother to the first Incan king. Brother Chili Brown Ale is aged on fresh Anaheim jalapenos and habaneros. Surprisingly mild pepper beer that's like drinking a liquid pepper with only hint of heat.
Yep.
So
that sums it up. It gives you a nice pleasing heat without you feeling like, oh, I'm gonna have heartburn in 10 minutes or something like that.
And it's a good combination of pepper because I myself, I've had friends say to me, oh, you don't like spicy? No, I don't like jalapeno. To me, jalapeno tastes like if you took dirt and threw hot sauce on it. That's what a jalapeno tastes like to me. But I do like ancho. I do like Anaheim. And what was the other language? Habanero. Yeah, habaneros are great.
Which I'm a huge fan of.
I think, honestly, the habanero is the best pepper to cook with, in my personal opinion. This is
first of all, it's brown ale. So for all you brown ale fans, you got something here. You got, what you would like in a brown ale. The peppers, like Chris just said a second ago. It's not like they went out to make a hot beer to give you the experience of like, I want to drink a heated, hot, spicy beer. They actually considered chilies. They balanced them all out to where it's actually like a recipe. It's like a real true creative concoction where the peppers actually play into the beer. And of course there's a little bit of a heat and a tang, but it's far from making you stop and wipe your eyes with a tissue.
And I'm going to say,
worry about
despite the obvious, the Incan homage, the Incan god, I'm going to say, because I did live in Upper Manhattan, and I did get to know a great deal of people in Harlem and East Queens, and I got to know a lot of West Indians and Africans. Those of you who are into the super duper fruity peppers from Jamaica, if you go to Jamaican lounges and you like Jamaican jerk and you like the spicy Jamaican jerks and all those peppers, this is the beer for you. If you are a Jamaican jerk fan, you're going to love this beer. This is a great beer to go with Jamaican jerk. Cool. Any sort of culinary where somebody actually works on their peppers, perhaps a restaurateur who even grows their own peppers, that kind of thing, this is a great beer to drink with that because it's just enough heat to go with your dining,
without making your palate like scream out for a glass of water before you take another bite. You can actually drink this in unison with a meal without having that emergency glass of water. Great beer. I mean, I think in my opinion, I don't have enough experience drinking Lovelady's beers. Like I said, when I had their flight, I loved 3 or 4 other beers. This beer to me is their signature beer. Like if you were to say, "Hey, Lovelady," I'd say Brother Chili. That's to me like where their fame. I hope they're very young, obviously, like we were talking about. This is where I hope their fame stems from because this beer is freaking fantastic. I love it. What would you score this?
I am going to score this a 4.0. Honestly, this is.
Nice.
I'd like a little more carbonation to it.
I agree with that.
It's a little
tad more.
A brown ale, just like a little bit of foam on top of my brown ale.
Yeah.
So in terms of a brown ale, I'd say it's okay. In terms of heat, it's extraordinary. And I do have to say that the heat is better than the actual brown ale recipe itself.
I would agree totally.
If they got rid of the peppers in this, I don't know. I'd think much of this brown ale. But,
it would be. It would almost be like you're drinking like a Newcastle with a little bit of a personality to it.
Exactly.
Because Newcastle sucks. I'm sorry.
It does. I agree. I'm completely of that mind. Yeah.
Oh, we're almost out of time. Look at that.
We are.
15 seconds.
Okay. Until next time, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. And cheers.
And cheers and goodbye.